You guys might want to check this out. What a piece of crap. Oh, here we go. Is the stupid console. Greetings, all 200 of my subscribers. Feels good to finally be able to say that I've got 200 subscribers. But anyway, it's not really a milestone that's all that great, but it's there, right? This is CP666 signing on for what is not going to be another computer video, although that stuff will be at the end, so you can take a look at that if you want. There'll be more than just computer stuff. There's also a bit of decent bike stuff and all that stuff. But today, I'm going to be showing you a game console, actually. But in order to do that, I had to go get the console, and it's downstairs. So, and of course there are people here, so I can't really go get it. And in order to demonstrate it, I have to fix this thing. So, we're going to fix this thing up. We're going to work on the bike, and I'm going to wait until people leave. And I've also got another piece sitting right there that you will see, well, at the end of the video. But what you're going to see next is going to be the actual clip of the console in operation. This is probably going to be a really long video. But I've deliberately made it such that if you don't want to watch the video game console, or if you don't want to watch the stuff after that console, then you can skip it. If you only want to watch the stuff after the console, you can also skip the console stuff. I have it made that way. Anyway, let's begin. Alright folks, here's something that you've probably never seen before. Well, maybe some of my older viewers might have, and some of you guys might actually come across one. And I won't be showing any gameplay footage because I don't want to take any chances with this video getting deleted because of copyright reasons. But I will show the game console because I don't think it's very common to see... I don't think it's very common to see these in their original boxes anymore. At least not nearly as often as it once was. Adventure series and all of this. There are actually six games that go along with it. I was able to find 2, and I think there's a third one in the box. But the 2 that I weren't able to, or the 3 that I weren't able to find, I know 1 stopped working a couple years ago. Kung Fu. Some of these games, I tell you. But anyway, the console's in here. I believe the 2 controllers are in here, and the gun should be in here. Let's find out how much is actually in here. The foam, I do not believe, is in very good condition. Please don't complain about the fact that there's no tripod in this video. I don't like using tripods. In fact, I really don't think that that this foam is in... Actually, I think it's in better shape than the SNES. I hope it is in the console. It is. Okay. So there is a third game in here. Yeah, like I expected to find, as you can see, there's a chunk taken out of the foam right there. But we've got the power supply. We have the adapter cable that I'm going to need to hook this thing up. Actually, I think I could probably just hook it up via RCA. Or F-switch. Maybe not. I don't know. But there's one of the controllers. Oh, both of the controllers are there. And the gun is there. I'm going to try and play Duck Hunt with this gun, but I don't think it's going to work very well. But I'm curious. I want to see if it's actually going to work or not. And of course, like I said, the power supply. The unit itself is in relatively decent condition. There's some blue crap right there. There is a game in it, as you can see. And it's indeed... This one is actually in decent condition. Some of them now are starting to have issues with the locking mechanism with the cartridge, but this one's just fine. Everything still works with it too. It's all here. There's some dings here. You can see on the back you have a switch for channel 3 or 4, the RF switch, of course, and an AC adapter. And it actually does have AV output and input. This is a monophonic unit. All NESs were monophonic. I think the SNES, or whatever came after this, I'm not sure if it was the SNES, or if it was the Nintendo 64, or if there was anything between this and the SNES. I have an SNES, and it is a stereo unit. I don't know what this is. I think it's probably just decoration, but maybe a couple of these units had speakers in them. That's an interesting noise. Let me get this all hooked up. In fact, let me put the case back on that, because I'm going to be using this computer as a monitor. I wish I still had one of the old CRT TVs, but unfortunately both of them broke and have been long since recycled. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. It's even got the instruction booklet here. And I don't know what this is. Control deck. Maybe it's a diagnosis book. Alright, it is set up. Let's turn on the TV. Well, I guess it's not really turning on the TV, but I am using the remote control to do this. There we go. Shift to channel 3. Let's power it up. See what happens. That's not very encouraging. Let me figure this out. Alright, I don't know what the deal was with this card, because it would not shift to channel 3. But it looks like it might actually work now. This is just its a little standby, as you can see, no cartridge. See what happens if I try to put a cartridge in. It works! Look at that. Let's see what happens if do I actually have any audio? Where is... There it is. Gotta love playing with your left hand. Even though you're very much right-handed, I don't hear any audio. Not only are we full screen, we now have audio, as you can probably see, which is a good thing. Whoops. Pressing the select button actually moves it up and down, if you don't know that. But let's try something here. Let's try the clay game. Start. It actually works. Maybe it doesn't work. Yeah, as you can see, I'm actually hitting it, but it's not quite doing what it needs to. Isn't that annoying? Well, okay, I guess we can't do that now, can we? I'm not going to play a lot of this. I'm just going to show, of course, a little bit of gameplay. Because I can't play one-handed. I hope you appreciate how truly difficult this actually really is. I think I want that. Oh yeah, anybody who remembers these older games where you can't actually go backwards in the game. And that's what happens when you win. Woohoo. Alright, this one is probably my least favorite out of them all. This one's actually completely different from any of the others. I know I said I wasn't going to really play this, but what the hell. You can tell it's completely different. Ooh, thunderstorm going on outside. Alright, after that little interruption, it's still actually going on. Well, the thunderstorm isn't, but the rain certainly is. I had to turn this off in order to get a good picture for that. I had all the cameras going, of course. This is my favorite soundtrack of this entire game, but I'm going to mute it just so I don't get my video taken down by, well, we all know who. What I can do is I can take the remote right here, and I can control the volume from there. That'll actually work. But I can't do a multiple up or down thing. But I can mute it. There is a mute button, as you can see. When I left off, I was saying that this is probably one of the worst Mario games of all time. It is completely different from Mario 1, the first game, which I showed you first. And, I mean, not a lot of people, I don't think there were a lot of people who liked it. Honestly, it's not that bad once you get used to the whole gameplay mechanics, but it is definitely a lot more different from any other Mario game that you'll ever play. And if you don't like anything other than that classic Mario gameplay style, you probably won't like this. I'm going to tell you that right now. I've never liked this game very much. It's always seemed kind of weird. But anyway, let's move on to our next game. Unmute this first. I'm not going to play any of the last game. But the last game I have is actually the third of the series, Super Mario Bros. 3. At one point, I had all of these on GBA, but I don't know where all of those went. So, with that. I'm surprised that this thing is in as good a condition as it is. I'm going to keep it away from all the hard drives and stuff. Okay, so let's just take a look at this. I think there's volume in the opening. There is on the... Yeah, no, there isn't on this one. There is in the GBA version of this game, which I do have somewhere. I think that was one of the games that did actually survive. You can see the title screen there. There is sound in the game. If I hit start, you can hear that there is definitely sound in the game. This, I think, is one of my favorites, actually. I like it. Of course, I'm not going to play it because I don't want to have any problems with my video. But there you pretty much have a crash course and demonstration of this Nintendo Entertainment System from the 80s. One of the few consoles that I ever actually played really a lot, because I've never been that much into games. In fact, I don't really game at all. Alright, first things first. Of course, we've got the drive that's here. The old one, of course, got bad sectors on it, and I have no idea if this one's actually even going to work at all, because it was sitting in a car for about an hour, traveling around while we went to other places to go get things, because the trip took a lot longer than it should have. But let's install it and see. I am definitely going to be running an HDAT2 test on this to make sure that it does work first. Alright, the drive is hooked up. I've got 2 screws in because I don't want it falling out, but I don't have all the screws in case I have to take it back out again. Turn the switch on. Nothing's exploded yet. Let's insert our HDAT2 boot floppy. And fire the system up. I don't hear anything really bad. That actually was just the staggered spin-up feature of my RAID card. Spun up this drive and then that drive. Second. So it should boot off of the floppy first. Yes, it looks like that's what it's going to do. But I have to get this other thing out of the way first. Moment of truth here, folks. Let's see if this drive is bad too. Floppy version is not fast, mainly because it's a floppy disk drive. I should really redo this floppy, and I probably will. Smart, okay. Alright. Let's take a look at our attribute data. This one's got more hours of power on it, but no errors, so that's a good sign. I am still going to run a device test on it, however. But I'm only going to do the quick test, because I am lazy. Alright, looks like I passed that test with 0 errors. So we are in good shape. I'm going to have to shut it back down again in order to install the IDE drive, but there you go. The drive actually works. So maybe this time we won't have a drive that's going to fail. cloning the disk. Yay! Knowing this, it's going to take forever, but it's going off of my RAID array onto the other drive. Well, that's working. Let's take a look at my new switch. I'm going to have to do some cable management with my cables, but that'll have to come later. This is a D-Link DGS108 8-port gigabit switch. I wanted to go for an 8-port one because my current thing was 8 ports. I didn't want to get a 5-port and then still be stuck with having to use something else, and it would still draw a lot of power. This apparently uses D-Link Green stuff. 8-port gigabit speeds, rugged metal case. I wanted one with a metal case as well. Unfortunately, it's got the front-facing ports, but that's not a big deal. Supports QoS for traffic prioritization, which is interesting. I didn't think that unmanaged switches would support that. What else does it support? 8, 10, 100, 1000 megabits connections. 1 gigabits of dedicated bandwidth per port. 2 gigabits in full duplex mode. Cool. 802.1p QoS prioritization, jumbo frame support, cable diagnostic, auto crossover, and all that other stuff. Supports MAC address learning. I don't think this is a managed switch, but it seems to support a lot of features that other unmanaged switches wouldn't even dream of supporting. Screw finding a knife, I'll just use a flathead screwdriver. It's easier. And look at that, it even works. Doesn't it? Yes, it does. Do not complain about the fact that there is no tripod. I don't feel like using it for this purpose. Come on. Believe it or not, I can do this one hand. So, there's that. Oh yeah, there's more stuff on the back, I guess. Blah blah blah, I don't need to look at that. Connect computers and devices to your network. I would hope that they all support that. Access files between computers. Plug and play instantly. Share an external hard drive or printer. Interesting. Conserve energy. Limited lifetime warranty. Troubleshoot connection problems and transfer files over a faster wired connection. So, isn't that just nice? Let's open up the box, take a look at what they give you inside. Not a whole lot, looks like. And I would be right, to a T. What else is in the box? I know that there's something else in there. Looks like just the books. We've got the power. We have what looks like some wall mounting accessories, yes. And the unit itself, which weighs a lot more than I would have expected. Has a Kensington lock on the back, of course. This is a very high quality unit for being only $50 in price. Like, wow. Green port means gigabit. So let's take out this old switch, or this old hub actually, and get all the other stuff set up. And the new one's now hooked up. I really don't care for the way that this blue wire looks, but I'll deal with it later. So you can see the power light is on, and these green lights indicate that we are connected at gigabit speed, which is really nice. Get out of my way. In fact, if we take a look at our network, you can see 1 gigabit per second. So that'll be nice. I can now connect all this stuff in at a much higher speed than before. Orange light indicates 10-100, the green light indicates gigabit. It'd be nice if they had a red light for 10, an orange light for 100, and a green light for 1000, but they don't. And this was only a $50 switch, so there you go. Before I put it away, here's a look at the old hub here. You can see dual hub 8P, it's all in Taiwanese, or actually that's Chinese, but 5 volts, 3 amps max. I forgot to look at the power rating of that, but I will definitely take a look. That one will be more efficient anyway, because it's also got link prioritization and all of that other stuff. So it'll be a lot easier on the electric bill. Alright, here's the fun part. Let's try transferring a file. Whoa! Over the new network. Gigabit. copy. Paste it onto my videos drive. Just put it in there. And yeah, just a little bit faster than it was before. It's pretty good, actually. Especially considering this is going from an older machine, using older drives. I think that's actually really good. 41 megabytes a second. It's not exactly blowing my socks off, but it's definitely better than the 20 or something. Actually, I think I was getting less than 20. Somewhere around 5 to 10 megabytes a second on the old network. So, yeah. This is kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever seen screw up like that before. But you can see negative 44 minutes and negative 37 seconds. That's kind of funny. Alright, folks, let's see what happens. Looks like it's booting. And it's not booting off of that IDE drive because I've got it disconnected. But I don't see any hard drive on it. I don't know. That's a little interesting. Oh, there we go. That switch is already running much cooler than the hub ever did. Seems to be taking a long time. If you're making funny noises. Yeah, it sounds like it's just working fine. This is going by really slow. I'm not quite sure why that would be the case, but... And POS Ready 2009 works too. Of course, now that it is raining outside, we are going to now work on this. So I'm going to try and get the old ones off. I don't know if I'm really going to have any luck with that. And it is very definitely raining outside. I finally got one of these stupid things off. After an almost Herculean effort. You can see just how bad that is, and I broke it, so it's not going to be going back on anyway. Oops. Anyway. Despite what it might look like, then it wasn't any harder to remove than the first one. I still can't get it in. Here's one of the new ones installed that looks definitely out of place on this old bike. Yeah, I'd rather have these than the old pieces of junk that were on here before. Alright, now they are both installed properly. That was Installing these new ones also took a Herculean effort. As you can see, the caps are on as well. Which wasn't the most difficult part of this, but the most difficult part of this was putting this stuff on, because it wouldn't go on. It's very slippery. So I had to really work at it in order to get it to go on there properly. Now let's move on to the next part of this, and that is installing one of these bells onto this, because as you can see, this is pretty messed up. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be working anytime soon. And I've started to put it on. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to show the removal process or anything like that, because you do need 2 hands to do this. And it's still pretty easy. It's not that difficult to do any of this. What the heck is going on? Anyway, because you do need 2 hands to do this, I wasn't able to show the pre-installation either. Now you want to get this tight so that it's even and it's not going to flop around like it would now, and this will go everywhere. You can't have that. There is the final install. I don't know why it's not focusing, but anyway. When tightening these screws down, do not over-tighten them, but make sure that they are snug, because first of all, you don't want this flopping all around, and second of all, you don't want to bend any of this up, because you want it to work just fine. I'd say it works just fine as well. Oh yeah, while I'm out here, I probably should talk about what this actually is. This actually used to be my dad's bike, but he stopped riding it, so I've started using it because none of these really suit me anymore. That's my mother's bike up there, but anyway. It's got the drink holder that I need. It's got this on the back. This thing's probably from like the 60s or 70s. It's really old. In fact, I'm surprised it even still works. It's not rusted out. I know it definitely needs new rear brakes because the rear brake pads are not in good shape. Probably needs to have both brakes re-stringed because it's falling apart, as you can probably see. It doesn't get very good compression on the front at all, but it could be tightened. I mean, it's always a possibility. The front brake, as you can see, is like rusted. Really needs to have some work done to it, but it should be just fine. I mean, I've ridden it to all kinds of different places, and it hasn't fallen apart, so I guess there's that much. Might need to be re-greased, cleaned off a little bit, because there's dirt all over it, but it's not that big of a deal. It works just fine. I don't use it very often anyway, at least not often enough to justify getting a new bike. Gotta love that repair. Clearly at some point in time this broke, so took electrical tape and repaired it. I love that. But it's a 7-gear rear brake, yeah, it's got 7 different gears on the rear and 3 on the front, so it's got 21 gears altogether, or 21 different combinations of gears altogether, or something like that. I really never understood how that worked, but most bikes are that way these days anyway. In fact, most of them actually have a lot more on, is it the, no, it's the front. Most of them have a lot more on the front than they do the rear now. Or, well, not, they've got a lot of in-between areas. This one's old school, and I like it, so I will continue to use it. Of course, to shift it up, I'm not quite sure how it works. I think you have to shift it up like that, and that shifts down. Of course, I'm pretty sure it's the opposite in the other one, but anyway. There you have it. Also got a new helmet, so that thing's going to be going in the trash soon. And, there you go. And last but not least, never throw away cardboard. Always recycle it. Or in this case, shred it. It can be used as packing material. And that's the end of that. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. I hope to see you next time. Till then.